we are going to go through the M check, which is basically a thorough check to make sure your bicycle is safe for you to use. We start down here and we try and find the shape of an M. So if we come up here, which is called the fork, down the frame, up to the seat and back down to the rear axle, it resembles an M. So that's why it's called the M check, to make it easy to remember. We do work it in methodical order. So we're going to start with the axle. Here you just need to make sure both of these nuts are tight so that the wheel doesn't move and stays in place at the bottom of the forks. When we then move up, we have the brake. So we have a front brake here, which is your right lever. And we also have suspension. To check this is all in fully working order, you want to push your bike forward and pull on that brake to check it's working. And also you want to check for any leaks, if there's any dodgy seals around your forks. But these, as you can see, are clean and free of oil. We then move up here to your steering bars. So a majority of bikes, the height of your steering bars is adjustable to tailor for the size. And this can be done by tightening and loosening the bolt up here. When we move back down the frame, we're going to come to the pedals, very important part of your bike, allowing you to pedal and move yourself. We need to make sure they're free moving, so they want to be able to rotate 360 degrees, but they need to be tight there. There's a bolt here, I'll talk about that later. We need to make sure that's tight. We then come back up to the seat. The saddle height is very important. If it's too high, then you'll struggle when you stop and you could lose your balance. If it's too low, then when you cycle, your knees are going to come up too high, which makes it harder work and risks you hitting your knee on the handlebars. This again is fully adjustable on bikes, whether it's a quick release, an Allen key, or a nut. So coming down this part of the frame, if your bike has cable brakes and gears as opposed to hydraulic, then you can inspect the internal part of the cable here. You want it to be solid as it is here. You don't want it to be frayed. You can see here at the end of the cable, it's lost its cap and it is actually frayed now, so that needs to be addressed. And then also with your derailleur, you can inspect the spring inside and just check it's not rusty. And all these components are fully adjustable to make the gears change just right for you and your cycling style. And we also have a brake, so this is your left lever. To check this, we pull the bike backwards and pull the lever. As long as it stops this from moving, then we know we're all good. You can see a visual check of the chain. You don't want to be touching it with your hands if you've not got gloves on, because it's got oil and dirt on it. But you want to check it's a black silver colour. We don't want it to be orange, because that could mean it's rusty and at risk of snapping. You've also got these things called sprockets. They've got lots of teeth on. You need to make sure the teeth are all fairly sharp and they're even. If they're too old or they get used too much, the teeth will not be sharp, they'll be blunt, and then it risks the chain slipping. This is also how your gears work. So you can see here you've got something called a derailleur. Again, don't want to be touching it, but you want to just be checking. There's two small wheels here and here. You want to just check that they're in fully working order and they're free to move. You can check it's all free flowing by pedaling backwards, and you'll be able to see everything moving. Should be nice and easy, no resistance. It's really important to check your tyre pressure as part of the M check too. So when we look at the front of the bike, we want to check that this is hard like an apple rather than being soft like a banana, and the same at the back. And whilst we talk about air pressure, you just want to make sure that your tyres are free for any rips and tears, and that you've got a good amount of grip for the road surface you're cycling on.